So musician and activist turned politician, Mr. Robert Chagulani Sentamu, also known as Hebobiwine, in 17, became the youngest opposition leader in Uganda to run against long-standing President Yoweri Museveni. Wine has had numerous run-ins with authorities over the years, largely seen as efforts to deter him from running for presidency. Today, he remains the leader of the official opposition, an advocate for human rights and a fierce critic of the Ugandan government. Through his partnership with the Friedrich Naumann Foundation for Freedom, Wine examines how the youth vote is changing African politics, as well as women's participation in public leadership. He joins us in studio this morning. Mr. Sentamu, a good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Naledi, and thank you for having me.
What brings you to South Africa?
Passion. But precisely, I'm here in South Africa thanks to the Friedrich Naumann Foundation for Freedom for a range of reasons. First, we are going to screen our documentary film, Hebobiwine, the People's President, and to our people here, the Ugandan community living here, and our friends and partners here. We also intend to use the same platform to highlight human rights violations. Every year, we have a Human Rights Accountability Conference, which we definitely cannot hold in Uganda because of obvious reasons. The last time we held it in Kenya, and we took opportunity, again thanks to the FNF Foundation, to have human rights violations and witnesses and testimonies here in South Africa. But also, we hope to use this opportunity to interact with thousands of Ugandans living and working in South Africa.
If we can talk a little bit about your story, you've got a very interesting story. In that I think that when certainly Africans think about what young voters tend to lean towards, your name certainly comes up. I mean, you grew into certainly a leader in Uganda that is followed by so many, firstly as a musician. And I think of the song, We Are Fighting for Freedom, certainly a song that grabbed many Ugandans. What was it, if we start at the very beginning of your political career, that said, I can be a musician that also wants to run for office?
It wasn't in my plans initially. I had wanted to be a musician. It's more fun, it's more comfortable, it's more enjoyable and less problematic to be a musician. And indeed, I was a musician for a long time, one of the most successful ones in Eastern Africa. But looking at the situation around me and the people that helped me rise to the top, I couldn't keep quiet when things were going that way. So I came into politics not to be the president per se, but to inspire masses of young people to see what must be seen so that they can do what must be done.
Yeah. It was, of course, in 2016 when you decided to run for office. Mm-hmm. And you've had the worst run-ins with the officials of Uganda. Talk to us about some of the worst experiences in and out of prison you've been as well.
Well, I kind of expected rough run-ins, but not to the extent that it came to, because ever since I came into politics in Uganda, it came with a mass of young people. It was a mass awakening. It was a mass falling and involvement of young people. Of course, that came with a massive crackdown. Our generation and the movement that I and my friends inspired was the biggest threat to General Museveni's now 38-year hold on to power, and he responded with a massive crackdown, with brutality, with extrajudicial killings, abductions, and of course imprisonment and torture for myself. I don't look at my plight in isolation of the rest, because if anything, I've been the luckiest. I've gone to prison, but I've been able to come back. I've been tortured, but I've not lost an eye or a limb. Most of my friends don't have either teeth or eyes. Many of them were taken away, never to be seen again. So it has been a crackdown on not just me, but on a generation, on an idea, on the young people, because that was the only way to respond to us effectively.
Yeah, it was in 2017 as you were running for those elections, of course. And if we really just zone in on just how much you've been through with the run-ins with the officials, you take us back to campaigning in Luka district.
Yeah, before Luka district.
The arrest and then going back to Luka district.
Yeah, sure. Like I said, it didn't begin in Luka district. I survived an assassination where my driver was shot, and that was 2018. You know, I was taken to military detention, tortured badly, many of my friends killed. But again, that only emboldened me. And in 2021, I ran against General Museveni. During the campaign itself, I was arrested in Luka district, prompting massive demonstrations and protests. In that time alone, in 2 days, 18th and 19th of November 2020, just a month to the elections, there was a massacre where more than 150 people were killed, including women, children, and the elderly. Although the regime in Uganda only admitted to murdering 54, but hundreds were killed. We did not stop, but neither did they stop. Abductions continued to the present day. So it has been an ongoing effort by us to free ourselves, but also by them to stop us from breaking the chains.
Part of the thing that I suppose emboldened you in your wanting to run for office was watching how the government of Uganda in 2017 sought to reform the constitution to allow for President Museveni to continue leading the country and capping, there was of course a cap on the age limit. Take us back to that, because many South Africans may not know exactly what took place and what the leader that is President Museveni would have done to